Most people are on Tinder to hook up, but how do those successful at it actually do it? Hey, welcome to Online for Love, your #1 resource for dating by the numbers. Today we're going to be going over an online dating app called Tinder, but more specifically we're going to be going over how to be successful as finding people to hook up with. Before we get into all that though, I do need to tell you guys about our Tinder 101 Hub. Our Tinder 101 Hub consists of 70 plus articles that give you the information needed in order to master Tinder. And another indispensable necessity is our Tinder opening line formula. Using the Tinder opening line formula, we've discovered that users have received 3 times the response rate that they had before. You can find these necessities in the links in the bio down below, along with our online dating app quiz and more. Now, in order to make this review a bit easier to comprehend, I've broken it down into these 5 sections. The first of which is setting up a profile for hookups, then texting and hooking up, then things you should avoid doing, then 4 best places to hook up, and finally the most and least popular Tinder states. So without further ado, let's jump into number 1 on the list, which is setting up a Tinder profile for hookups. So Tinder is one of the most popular online dating websites out there and is notoriously known for being a great website for users to utilize in order to hook up with other people. Now, while this seems like a simple answer, it's actually a bit more complicated than it seems, but there is a way to set up your Tinder profile to increase your chances in order to get a successful hookup. So the first thing you need to do on Tinder is to carefully pick out your photos. Now, your photos are going to be the most important aspect on Tinder that other users are going to be judging you based off of. Now, that might seem harsh, but Tinder is a very superficial site, and so your images are going to be the first impression that other users see. So all you have to do is upload a decent photo, but that is of course very subjective. So something you can do is ask around your friends to see what photos are best of you and what they think they are, and post those photos. Also, when it comes to taking your main photo, you want to try and make sure that you get your best angle as well. Now, this is going to involve a bit of experimenting, but when you see the photo that you really like, you'll know. So of course, your first image on your profile should be a picture of your face giving a great expression, the one that is generally positive. Other users want to feel like they know what you look like and that you're not hiding yourself, and that confidence is going to give you more matches. After that first photo, you should be showing photos about who you are after that. So maybe you doing some of your favorite hobbies or any other activities that you really enjoy, but they do also still include you in the photos as well. That is pretty important. It doesn't have to every photo, but it shouldn't be a ton of photos that don't include you. Giving other users a good sense of your body type is going to get those users who are interested in you to swipe right as well, rather than them swiping left if they don't know what you look like because you're not presenting yourself. One good tip as well is that if you have any pets, to absolutely use your pets in your photos. People are much more likable when they're seen with cute animals. Now, after your photos, the second thing that you really need to pay attention to on Tinder is your bio. A bio is a great way to stand out among other guys on Tinder, and in fact, about 80% of men on Tinder have a very low quality or no bio whatsoever on their actual profile, and that is detrimental to their experience on Tinder. If you can have yourself have a great bio on Tinder, is significantly going to increase your chances of getting a match on this app. The bio should show your personality and some of your best traits as well. For me, for example, I am somebody who travels a lot and I'm not really looking for a lot of serious relationships, so this is what I've wrote for a bio for myself. I've been to 20 countries and I am planning on seeing more. I'm not looking for anything serious. Hoping to meet cool people along my travels. And the last thing you really want to pay attention to for this is your linked social media profiles. So on Tinder, you have the option to link your Instagram as well as your Spotify. So on your Instagram, it probably would be a good idea to archive all of the photos that you have with your ex. Obviously, if they go on your Instagram and they see that you're with a girl, especially if it's more recent, then they're not going to be interested in you. Also, on top of that, if your music taste is a little jumbled and it's not something that you want to present on this app, you should go to Spotify and pick great songs that you think fit your personality well, or songs that you just really enjoy, and present those in the app rather than those guilty pleasure songs. So this is going to move me on to number 2 on my list, but before we jump into that, I did need to ask you guys to be sure you are hitting like and subscribe. Seriously, it really does help push our videos out so that more users can utilize this information from us here at Online for Love. We super duper appreciate it. So this is going to move me on to number 2 on my list, which is texting and hooking up. So you've matched with somebody that you're really attracted to and you really want to lead that to a good conversation. So what do you say exactly? Well, one thing you absolutely don't say is very generic compliments. Something like, "Hi, gorgeous," or "You look beautiful," or things like that is something that she is going to hear a million times and you're not going to stick out whatsoever. So it's really important that you go through her pictures and you go through her bio, and if she has a linked Instagram, to find something on her linked Instagram that you can make an interesting conversation with. It's going to show that you took the time to look at her profile, to read her bio, or to look through her Instagram, and that you have genuine interest and you're looking to have a conversation with her as a person and not as just something that's going to give you sex. Obviously, there's going to be a respect factor here that she is going to see and really appreciate from you. So being able to handle it like that is going to be extremely important and crucial in actually holding a conversation with these individuals. From here, you want to continue the conversation, and this is going to lead to inviting her out. Now, there's going to be a good amount of timing in doing this. So when you are having a conversation with her, you want to make sure that you're doing a few things as well. The first thing is that you want to be sure that you are keeping the conversation alive. You want to ask her questions. You want to make sure that the conversation doesn't get boring or anything like that. And you want to also make sure that you make the conversation very easy for her. Just responding to something she said without giving her an opportunity or an opener to bounce back is going to seem like an invitation from you that you want to end the conversation. You want to make sure that you are asking her easy questions that she could answer and things that she could be genuinely interested in. Now, of course, you don't want to tell your entire life story. That's something you could potentially do if you really wanted to way down the road. So before you get to know each other too well, but enough where you start to feel a lot more comfortable with this individual, you feel like you have a good spark with them, let's say, you can absolutely open that to inviting them out. Now, when you do invite these people out, you don't want to be inviting them to a nightclub or to somewhere where there's not a lot of people. Ideally, for me personally, I think a coffee date is a great idea. You can meet them in the late morning or early afternoon. There's going to be a lot of people there, and it's going to be a great situation for them and for you to get a good feel on them if they are somebody that you want to actually hook up with. You can also make it a place that's related to the conversations you've had. So maybe you've talked to her and she's a vegetarian. You can tell her about this great vegan or vegetarian place that you found, and that it would be great to take her out to lunch there to get to know her a little bit better. So before we move on to number 3 on my list, I do want to tell you guys about our online dating website quiz. Our online dating website quiz will ask you a ton of questions about what you're looking for in an online dating website. And at the end of that quiz, it's going to let you know what the perfect online dating website is for you personally. If you'd like to take this quiz, you can do so by checking out the links in the bio down below, or you can click on the thing that's popping up above my head right here. So this is going to move me into number 3 on my list, which is things you should avoid doing. So even the best conversations and the best matches have been ruined by a single message sent by guys on Tinder who were not being smart about their conversations. Now, the most obvious of this is sending unsolicited dick pics. I'm so embarrassed that I have to even say this. Don't send them pictures of your dick. It is not something that they want to see, and I personally don't understand the obsession with a lot of guys doing that. You also want to be sure while having these conversations that even if in your bio you have alluded to the idea that you are interested in hookups rather than serious relationships, you should not outright say, hey, I'm ready to hook up, or hey, I can't wait for XYZ to happen. You should really approach those topics in more of an innuendo way. So saying something along the lines of, hey, maybe after coffee, I could get a closer look at those tattoos. Presenting those ideas this way is going to be a lot more slick, and it's going to be a lot more attractive to most women out there. Now, if you find yourself having a really hard time with conversations on Tinder, something I need to tell you about is our secret Tinder opening line formula. The secret Tinder opening line formula is an indispensable necessity for guys who need to step up their communication games on Tinder. For users who have utilized the secret Tinder opening line formula, they have received 3 times more response rate in comparison to not using this secret Tinder opening line formula. So if you want to have better conversations that can lead to more dates, you definitely need to utilize this secret Tinder opening line formula. So this is going to move me on to number 4 on my list, which is the best cities to hook up utilizing Tinder. Now, all of these cities that I'm going to mention are located in the United States, as Tinder is mostly used in the US. So the first one I'm going to mention is, of course, New York City. New York City has a ton of users on there, and it is absolutely a very progressive city. Having hookups with people they've just met online is nothing foreign to many of the people in New York City. People here who are utilizing online dating apps are absolutely going to be a lot more open-minded, and of course they are openly welcome to tourists coming in, as tourists are consistently coming in and out of New York City regardless. And another fun fact as well is that there's actually more women in New York City than there are men too, so your numbers are going to be helping you in your favor there as well. And the number 2 city is Atlanta. So with Atlanta, it's going to be the same situation, surprisingly, that there are actually more women in Atlanta than there are men. And on top of that as well, they are very open to touring you around the city as well and showing you some of the cool spots. Now in Atlanta, compared to New York City, there are going to be more women who are looking for serious relationships, but there's also still plenty of women who are looking for casual hookups. And the third best city to utilize Tinder to find hookups is Miami, Florida. So Miami, Florida is known for being a beach city, so there are going to be a lot of attractive people here, which is why it makes number 3 in our list. And in comparison to the other 2 cities, there are a lot of people out here who are focused on being physically fit. For most of society, that equates to them being more attractive as well. So if that's what you're into, then Miami is going to be a great choice for you. This is going to move me into number 5 on my list, but before I jump into that, I did want to ask you guys to be sure to hit like and subscribe. Seriously, it really does help push our videos out so that more users can utilize this information from us here at Online for Love. We super duper appreciate it. And finally, we're going to go over the most and least popular US states when it comes to finding hookups on Tinder. And starting with the most popular ones, number 1 on our list is Rhode Island. So Rhode Island is probably the most popular because it is near some major cities, including Boston and New York City. On top of that as well, Rhode Island is one of the most densely populated states in the entire US, so you're going to find that a lot more users are going to be more close to you as well. With Rhode Island being number 1, it is followed by Maine, then Ohio, then Washington, then Pennsylvania, then Wisconsin. So we're going to talk about the least popular states, and the least best state to utilize Tinder for hookups is Mississippi. Mississippi, of course, for anybody who is not from Mississippi, has no identity. There's not a lot of people in that state, and absolutely there's not going to be a lot of people utilizing Tinder in that state as well. Alaska and Oklahoma are not far behind either. West Virginia and Louisiana follow them after. But no matter where you are in the world, you want to make sure that you have a great Tinder profile to start off with if you want to have any hope at all in making any matches. So of course, in order to make a better profile on Tinder, I highly suggest you check out our Tinder 101 Hub. Our Tinder 101 Hub consists of 70 plus articles that give you the information needed in order to master Tinder. And another indispensable necessity is our Tinder opening line formula. Using the Tinder opening line formula, we've discovered that users have received 3 times the response rate that they had before. You can find those necessities in the links in the bio down below, along with our online dating app quiz and more. If you would like to check out some more videos from us, be sure to check out the videos popping up on my left and right here. And I did want to ask you guys again to be sure you are hitting like and subscribe. Seriously, it really does help push our videos out so that more users can utilize this information from us here at Online for Love. We super duper appreciate it. I'll catch you guys here next time on Online for Love. See ya.